JavaScript type conversion. Let's look at how we can do conversions in JavaScript. How we can convert strings to numbers, how we can convert numbers to string, how we can convert dates to numbers, how we can convert numbers to dates, how we can convert booleans to numbers, and finally, how we can convert numbers to boolean. So JavaScript variable can be converted to a new variable and another data type. So basically, if you have a variable in one data type, it can be converted into another data type and converted to a new variable through two ways. The first is that can be done by the use of a JavaScript function. So you can use a JavaScript function to convert variables to a new variable and another data type, and it can also be done automatically by JavaScript itself. So let's look at how you can convert strings to number. Now, when you want to convert strings to number, normally you make use of the global method, the number method. It's a method that can convert a variable or a value into a number. So let's look at an example of some of these in JavaScript. So let me pull up the code editor here. Now, so okay, I have this here. Just a second. So good. Let's quickly take a look at this using number method. So we're talking about JavaScript conversions. So here I want to use the global method, which is the number method. So let's take a look at some of the examples here. I need to refresh this, I think. So let's move on while that is loading. So let's look at an example. So inside this number method, I'm just going to pass a string like this. Sorry about that, my system and so let's continue. Good. So look at this. This will return 3.14, even though this is a string, but it will return a number because of the number global method. And how do I know? Let's take a look at this. So when we assign this to a variable, let's text. Now let me just change this to text. Now you can see 3.14. So this has gotten converted. Also, what if I passed something like this as well? The property, you can see this is returning a number. What if I pass empty string this way? This returns 0. Now, if I put space in between what you need to return, you can see it's also return 0. Now, what if we put a non-numeric value? So let's say I put something like job. Look at this. This is returning a non-number because a non-numeric string like this John converts to not a number and not number because it's a non-numeric value. That is why it is returning a not a number. Even if I add something like this 99 and 88 together, can you see? Because JavaScript will not understand how to interpret it due to the space. But if I remove the space, let's check, you can see that it's returning the correct output. So this is how you can convert string to number in JavaScript. So let's move on and talk about numbers. So number methods in JavaScript has three types and they do different things. So the first one is the number method, which you just demonstrated. It returns a number converted from its argument. That's the argument that is passed into the number method. Also, we have the pass float method. It passes a string and returns a floating point number. Finally, we have the pass integer method, which passes a string and returns an integer. So quickly, let's take a look at the unary plus operator. So when you want to convert a variable to a number, how do you do in JavaScript? That's where the unary plus operator becomes handy for you to achieve that. So if you want to unary plus unary plus operator. Now, when you want to convert a variable to a number in JavaScript, you can do this using the unary type operator. So let's say I have two variables here and assign it a value of a string, then make another one and say x equals to plus y. Now, document dot type of y plus break and type of x. Now, one is returning a string and one is returning a number. And why is this? It is because of this plus that is added to the value of y. This is what changes to a number. So when you want to convert a variable to a number, you use the unary operator, unary plus operator. So you can see that here the value is a string. When I added the plus to the value of this string, it just converted that variable into a number. And I use the type of property to check the data type that each of these values belong to. And you can see the first one is string, which is correct, while the second one is a number due to the plus operator from the second expression. This is what changed that variable into a number.